IVM.
Welcome to Absolutely Right, a podcast where we celebrate and decode minds of some outstanding achievers and simplify their secrets and hacks for you to implement in your life. I'm your host, Aditi Surana. I'm a graphologist and a high performance coach. Last week, on our Friday episode number 62, I spoke about resilience, which in short is your ability to bounce back from a setback, your tenacity to fight your battle, which led me to a different or rather opposite question. How about quitting? When is it a good time to quit? Remember that famous quote, winners never quit, quitters never win. We all have heard some or the other version of that quote. So, what is it? Do we become losers if we quit? Or do we have to drag our feet through non stimulating jobs, abusive relationships, and boring conversations to be winners? To be very honest, this is a very personal and tough topic to talk about as there is no right or wrong answer to this. I would like to take a moment for you to think about anything that you are considering quitting or giving up in this moment. Instead of giving you answers or solutions, let me give you some questions that you can explore with. I would like to teach you how to fish instead of serving you the fish. And we need to look at some vegetarian option of the same line. Nevertheless, as you go through these questions, explore what is your truth. In my experience, if you're choosing to hold on or to quit just to agree, validate, defend, offend, prove something to someone else, you'll regret that choice in no time, no matter what you choose. Every decision will have its own consequences, and you will not only be responsible for them, you'll have to live through them. So, before you jump in, think about it. As I ask these questions, you can grab a notepad and write down your thoughts in the old school handwriting way, or type thoughts on your phone, iPad, laptop, or voice record them on your voice note. I recommend writing as it will be cathartic at a mental as well as physical level. If you're new here, let me fill you in. Absolutely Right Friday episodes are designed to create actionable changes. With every episode, we create a worksheet, or as we call it, Friday Fun Sheet, for you to commit to growth and take actions. This is a PDF document that you can download from my website, aditisurana.com/podcast. If you're at a point where you're thinking whether to quit or not, here are your 5 questions to think about. Point number 1. Why did you choose this option in the first place? What was your reason to be in this relationship, job, or situation? What were you expecting? What was your why that kept you going until now? Most people start contemplating giving up when they realize that they are not in alignment with their personal why anymore. Every worthwhile endeavor will have its challenges and setbacks. In testing times, it can be easy to be fixated on how dire things are and ignore why you pursued the project in the first place. We forget that the same person, the same job, the same project we were extremely excited and grateful for. Do you remember your why? Just take a moment and scribble your thoughts. Question number 2. What is your actual reason to quit? Most people feel quitting will solve their problems. They think their spouse, colleague, company, or any external scenario that is getting to them is the issue. They believe that getting rid of that problem will make them happier. In the attempt of projecting all their anger, resentment, blame, shame, they forget that they might have other hidden and actual reasons to quit. I remember this situation. A middle aged client of mine kept complaining about his wife and the problem in their marriage. He spoke about rather insignificant things and colored their stories in his own perspective. I wasn't convinced. I directly and indirectly kept asking him this: what is your actual reason? Every time I did that, he deflected and avoided that question over and over again. Until one day, he accepted and he told me that he felt threatened and reprimanded by his wife. With all his explanation all along, he was trying to convince me, his wife, and more importantly, himself, that he must quit as there is no other way to be happy. Being clear about his actual reason helped him make up his mind. Question number 3. Is this the whole thing or just a part of it? So many people tell me that their reason to quit is that they are not happy in this scenario. Allow me to say something that may not sound very flowery, but it is true. I believe that it is crucial that I say this and you consider this point. Happiness is overrated. Going through a tough time is not happy. Calling out on your own bullshit is not easy. Questioning your own behavior and rebuilding it from scratch does not necessarily lead to happiness in the moment. But people who go through this grind together actually grow closer. People who do not give up in these moments discover some new aspects about themselves and each other. So, my question to you is, can you change some parts of your situation before you quit completely? Do you require to alter something about it? The question is, are you willing to look at your share of the problem? If you're unhappy, it doesn't make you right. If you're unhappy, it doesn't make the situation wrong. It could be only a perspective or your point of view. Many people are unhappy to take medicines that can cure them. That doesn't make the medicine ineffective. It just means that they have some conclusions in their mind. Question number 4. Have you given your best shot? Walking away will always be an option. That is always available. But before you use your exit door, ask yourself, have you given your best shot? Have you learned everything you needed to learn from this situation? We have all met people who move from job to job, relationship to relationship, and somehow land up creating the same issue, same problem over and over again. Now that happens as they do not change their ways of dealing with the problem. Rejection, insecurity, anger, disappointment, they feel compelled to behave in the same manner. Remember, even if you walk away from this situation at hand, you will take that one person with you, yourself. Point number 5. What's next? Before you throw in the towel, ask yourself, what's next? From this exhausted, broken, traumatized place, you might not be able to think of many options. But make sure you have some options at hand. Give yourself some short-term guideline. People end up choosing rebound when they get desperate. Let's accept desperation is caused when you feel that you're falling into a bottomless pit. We all give up. We all quit. Most of the time we do it when we experience indifference, contempt, neglect, or violence. Please note you can give up on anything, literally anything, as long as you're not quitting on yourself. Nothing is more important than that. I have seen people holding on to things, projects, jobs, careers, and withering away from within. I hope these questions help you find your own clarity. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Absolutely Right. Please review, comment, and share this podcast with anybody who can get benefited by these conversations. Also, send me your questions on my Instagram handle at Aditi Surana. For this month of October, we are doing a special awareness drive around calmness called Kama Sutra with Aditi Surana. Every day for 12 minutes, I do a handwriting-based meditation process live on my Instagram handle. All the details are mentioned on my website, aditisurana.com/Kamasutra, CALM. If you like this podcast, then don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Let's connect on Wednesday. Till then, happy writing!
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, Niharika Pandey joined Cyrus this week on Cyrus Says. Niharika is the strategic partner manager for Instagram India. Great conversation about the plans for Instagram in India. Karanjit Kaur joined the guys at Uncle Please Sit. Another really interesting conversation about the patriarchy. On Advertising is Dead, old friend Suchita Salwan showed up. Suchita is the founder of LBB. Great conversation she had with Varun. Definitely do check that out as well. Tanvi Lad, who is a nationally ranked badminton player, was on the Habit Code with Ashton Doctor. Great conversation. I would highly recommend that. The Football Shitwall guys are back. They've been back for a few weeks, but definitely do check out their latest episode. Great conversation they had. On Aditi Surana's Absolutely Right, Manju Sara Rajan was the guest, and again, a great conversation was to be had over there. As always, great conversations all across the board. Check out some of the other stuff like Smile India, Know Your Kanun, and All Things Policy. All of them had fresh episodes this week, but with that, I hope to see you again next week.
Have you ever wondered how successful people do their thing? How do they navigate the challenges they often face? Are you wondering about the future of restaurants, film, education, technology, and everything else in between? Hi, I'm Gauri Devidyal, best known for being one of the brains behind The Table, an award-winning restaurant in Bombay. One thing my life as a restaurateur has given me is the opportunity to meet with some truly inspiring people, most often just by chatting with strangers at the community table. And that's what this podcast is about. It's about learning the new dimensions of business and understanding how different people swim this sea. It's an opportunity for me to pick their brains and ask them all the questions on my mind, whether it's about learning from their past experiences or talking about future trends. Through their journeys, stories, and insights, I hope you too, like me, will come away inspired and energized. So come, join me every Wednesday with your favorite drink because this round is on me.